What's happening? What's happening, everybody? So, we got a magnificent topic today, and it is around applied faith. And before I get into the speech that I'm going to give today, right, before any of that, I want to just take a moment and pause right here and talk about the last 4 days. Right, the last 4 days, I've talked about three major principles, including what I'm going to be talking about today. Right, I talked about definiteness of purpose, the mastermind principle, and applied faith. And I'm going to end up spending the next 14 days, 2 weeks or so, talking about 17 principles to success. But this is something that I heard today, and I want to reiterate it, right? I'm going to tell you right now that the bare bones to your success is really just these three major points, right? You can, the rest of what I'm going to talk about for the next 2 weeks is all absolutely essential, but it's essential for you to apply these three major points, right? I'm telling you, you are well on the mark if you start with simply having a definite major purpose, having a mastermind group, and having applied faith. Now, I'm not going to say that those are easy to have, right? It's simple. It's simple, but it's not easy, right? And like I said, I keep saying, right? It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Yeah, you may know what you want, but are you so definite about it, so definite about getting it that that's all you think about? And yeah, you may have people that you work with, right? You may have people that you cooperate with, but is your mastermind group working in a spirit of perfect harmony, right? There's certain ways of going about these principles. But I'm telling you right now, right, these three major points, right, definite major purpose, mastermind, and applied faith, right, that is the bare bones of all individual achievement right there. Okay, and I'm going to go in depth on applied faith and talk about some more things, but I just want to get that message across right now, right? This is absolutely essential, right? These three major points. So what I'm going to be talking about today is applied faith. And I'm going to talk about, number one, some steps to help you develop faith. And then number two, how your state of mind is everything. Right? All faith is a state of mind. Right? Napoleon Hill refers it to as a state of mind where what you want is already done. Right, where what you want is already done. You see it right now. You're grateful for it already being done right now, and you're acting as if it's already done. Right? And I'll get into this in depth later, but what I'm saying here is this, right? One of the hardest things that I learned to do is it's not about doing the work necessarily, right? A lot of what I'm doing right now has eventually became a habit, and it's like, Bob Proctor says, do the thing until you don't have to do the thing. Right? A lot of what I'm doing right now has become a habit, but what was the most difficult part for me was believing that I could do it. It was having the belief, was having the faith, was having that state of mind that it's possible. Okay, and that's going to be one of the biggest challenges for you is that you have limiting beliefs. And I may not get into all of it today, but this is something over time that I'm really going to crack the code to. Okay, so let's get right into it. I want to start with the steps to developing faith. And like I mentioned in depth, right? It all starts with having a definite major purpose, right? How are you going to have faith in yourself if you don't even know what you want? If you don't have a reason to have faith? If you don't have a direction to go, right? Because you got to, like all things, start out with becoming definite about what you want. And then all of a sudden this state of mind is going to begin developing, right? If you, unfortunately, 95% of people don't know what they want, so there's no real reason to really need to believe in themselves, right? Because they're operating on autopilot every day, going through the motions. But when you set these high targets that make you even want to throw up just thinking about them, that's when you're going to realize, okay, I need to develop this state of mind known as faith. Okay, so it starts with definiteness of purpose. I think that's where it all great starts. And in Think and Grow Rich, right, Napoleon Hill referred to the starting point as having a burning desire. And I think that's absolutely essential too. I think faith is formed out of having a burning desire. I really do believe that there is this chemical reaction that happens in your brain when you become obsessed, when you become absolutely, positively obsessed with getting what you want, with getting your definite major purpose, right? That burning desire, that too is a state of mind, right? That too is a state of mind. And it's going to trigger some things. It's going to literally change the chemistry in your brain. That's going to help you start forming this state of mind known as faith, is having a burning desire to achieve it. All right. So that's number one. I'm going to group it: definite major purpose plus a burning desire. I'm telling you right there, you're going to get the ball rolling to developing what is this complicated state of mind known as faith, right? Faith, explaining this is it's complicated, let's face it, but I'm telling you right now, right, the steps to developing it are absolutely practical steps that you can start implementing today, right? Figure out what you want and start becoming obsessed with it, right? This state of mind is going to start forming from that alone. Now, number two, Napoleon Hill refers to is having a motive behind your purpose, right? One thing I talked about was there's 9 major motives, and I won't relist them all right now, but essentially, especially when you're a salesman, right, there's got to be a reason, there's got to be a motive behind it, right? Why do you want what you want? Is it so that you're going to have, true fulfillment in life? Is it to do you want just the nice house and nice car just so that you can stroke your ego? Right? But what is the major motive, right? Do you want freedom? Right? Do you want spiritual and financial freedom? Right? What is the reason that you want what you want? And that's absolutely essential in the step to developing faith, right? Not only figuring out your definite major purpose, but having good reason to why you want it as well. Now, number three is absolutely critical. It's a habit that I want you to start working on every single day. And that's developing a success consciousness. And I'm going to relate it to this. I'm going to relate it to health, right? When you see somebody that's in shape, that you can tell eats healthy, works out every day, right? What you may not be aware of yet is that individual has a health consciousness, right? They know what they're putting into their body. It's going to affect the way that they look. Now, on the flip side, right, someone who does not look like they're in shape, who does not look healthy, they just simply aren't aware of all the junk that they're throwing into their body. They're not aware of their negative habits, right? They're not conscious about it. Right? So I want to relate that a lot to the success conscious. And this is something that I think you can absolutely start working on every single day, is developing a success consciousness. It's becoming aware. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich refers to it as a money consciousness. It's becoming aware of the opportunities all around you. Right? You're going to hear a lot of things on the news. You're going to hear a lot of things from neighbors and people who don't really know what they're talking about, that, times are getting tough again, that money is tightening up. No, we are in a time of change, where we are in a moment in history where it is more probable, more possible than ever for you to start making money from your phone. However, what needs to start first is that you start becoming aware of the possibilities, of you start developing this money consciousness, of developing this success consciousness, of literally conditioning your mind for success every day. And one of the biggest challenges is that when a good opportunity comes across us, right, we know it's a good opportunity, but we don't believe in ourselves. Right? We simply lack one thing, and that's self-confidence, is belief in ourselves. Can I truly follow through on this idea? I know it's a good idea, but can I truly follow through on this idea? And, this has been something for me as well, right? When I got presented this idea to go live every day and start building a brand, I rejected it. I said I could never do that, et cetera, et cetera. But you got to work on that inner game every single day. That inner game is absolutely essential, right? The things that you say to yourself are absolutely going to determine whether you do the thing or you hold yourself back and make excuses, right? Your self-talk is absolutely critical. And it's important that you start plugging in to the right audios, to start reading the right books, to stop reading the negative stuff, right? Cutting out. What do you need to cut out in your life that's holding you back, that's making you not believe in yourself, right? And This is a lifelong process of developing a success consciousness so that when the right opportunity comes for you, you know how to act on it and start being definite about those actions and take full advantage of it. But you have it in you. You know you have it in you. It's just that you got to condition your mind to start looking for the things, like looking for the opportunities out there, right? That's going to help you. All of a sudden, you'll see there's opportunity everywhere, right? We live in a world of abundance. We just got to start becoming aware of it. All right. And one last point that I would like to make on developing a success consciousness is getting started. Right? It wasn't until, I'll tell you from personal experience, it wasn't until I actually got started knocking on doors. I think I was 19 years old. I knocked on over 6,000 doors. You know, at least half of them was for the painting business. And then I experienced temporary defeat. I experienced major temporary defeat. And what did I do afterwards? Well, I got back up and I kept knocking on doors because I knew that this is one thing. I knew I had to start just getting in front of people to build this skill because I knew that communication was so critical, right? And it was through just getting started. It was through going through temporary defeat that all of a sudden I realized how important it was to step up my thinking, right? I finally put some value to my thoughts and what I think about. And all of a sudden, that's what got the ball rolling to me seeing this money consciousness, of seeing the opportunities that are around us right here, right now, today. Okay, so that's the third point, and that's a pretty big point. Now, number four is this, right? This is all in the steps to developing faith. I talked about having a definite purpose. I talked about having a motive to back that definite purpose. I talked about building a success consciousness. And now number four is this. It's quite simple. It's to take one step every single day towards your definite major purpose, right? Just one step. You know, the Japanese, they call it the principle of Kaizen, right? And this says this, it's you want to get 1/10 of 1% better every single day, right? Not 1% better, 1/10 of 1% better every single day. And I'll relate it to this, right? Tony Robbins says it himself, right? Progress equals happiness. Right? As long as you make progress, yes, you might be in the lowest of the lows, but at least you can start making progress. Right? Progress equals happiness. Progress is momentum. And there's nothing like that state of mind like momentum. Now, it's possible that you have negative momentum if you're making negative progress, if you're going backwards, but we want to focus on, we establish our definite major purpose. And what is the one thing that I can do, that I can start installing? What is that one habit that I can start working on every single day that's going to get me a step closer to my goal? Because you'll notice the more progress that you make, even if it seems impossible in the beginning, the more progress that you make will help you start developing that state of mind known as faith. That's absolutely critical for me to get across, right? Every time that you start moving forward every single day, let's say you do one thing better, right? It's important to evaluate yourself every single night, right? What did I do well? What could I do better? What talent, skill, or resource do I need to come into my life to make it the best? As long as you self-evaluate yourself, because you can't grow what you don't measure. You cannot grow what you don't measure. So it's important to start measuring your success. Start measuring your days. How am I spending each hour of my day? And even if it's bad in the beginning, even if what I'm doing in the beginning is not making any sense, as long as I'm making progress, I'm going to start building up that state of mind known as faith. All right? Now, that was the first major part that I wanted to make for today. And the second major part is this, right? I've mentioned a couple of times today that state of mind known as faith, right? State of mind. It is all in your state of mind. State of mind is everything. And I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this from Napoleon Hill. This is actually taken from the Master Course on Success, where he says this: your education, your background, your nationality, your creed have nothing whatsoever to do with what you achieve. It has nothing. I don't care whether you went to college, whether you did not go to college, what race, what color, what religion you are. It has nothing to do with your ability to achieve. What has everything to do with it, though, right? It's the state of mind that you maintain. It's that state of mind that you maintain. maintain. That's the thing that determines how and what and when you achieve your goal. Right? Can you develop a state of mind that is so definite every single day that you know you have to go get it? Right? It's going to come across in your tonality. It's going to come across in your voice. It's going to come across in your body language. What is the state of mind that I have? I'm telling you, your mental attitude is everything, right? And if you want to change your life right now, if you want to change your life right now, it comes down to changing your attitude, changing your mental attitude on what you're looking at. Are you focused on all the bad things? Are you focused on what's going wrong? Or are you focusing your mental attitude on the progress that you can make today, on the one thing that you can do today to help you get a little bit closer towards your definite major purpose? Right? You switch your mental attitude, you can literally change your life, right? That's the magic word right there. And mental attitude, for those of you who don't know it, right, it has a direct impact on your state of mind. Right? Having a good, positive mental attitude will improve your state of mind. And if you can work each day on just maintaining that state of mind known as a positive mental attitude, all of a sudden you're going to start seeing some of the answers that you're looking for. Right? You're wondering, well, why is it not my turn? Why am I not getting what I want? Why is this person doing better than me? It's simply because you just have the wrong mental attitude. That's simply what it comes down to. Start working on, changing your state of mind. Start changing your mental attitude, becoming definite. Right? I'm not just talking about being all positive and happy and glowy and going all these EDM concerts and it's trying to escape reality. I'm talking about, wake up with a positive mental attitude. Start becoming definite with your mental attitude. Start having a burning desire. Start becoming obsessed with what you want to actually achieve. I'm talking about that type of positive mental attitude, not all this fake, oh, life is all good and rainbows and roses. No, it's not. Don't ignore the weeds. I'm not saying that there's no weeds there, right? There's weeds there. I'm just saying, get the clippers and start mowing them. Start getting down to the roots. Start doing the deep work and working on your state of mind like your life depends on it, because it does, right? You want to, what's that saying? We die at the age of 21, but they bury us at 75, something like that, right? No. Every single day, I refuse to get buried at 75. I refuse to die today, right? I'm going to wake up every single day with the state of mind of, how can I get better? How can I get 0.1% better every single day? Right? That's what I'm talking about with that state of mind, right? All faith is a state of mind. A state of mind is an emotion. It is literally a chemical reaction in your brain, right? Start working on your mindset. Bob Proctor says success is 95% mindset, 5% strategy. Right? I can talk about Amazon, I can talk about e-commerce, but a lot of people are going to let it roll off their back. They won't care about the strategy. And at the end of the day, I got to get down to the roots. What is your state of mind? What mental attitude do you wake up with every day? What mental attitude do you go to bed with every single day? Right? Start working on that. All of a sudden, the answers are going to come. I'm going to tell you right now, the answers are there. The answers are there on YouTube. You just have not yet developed the state of mind to go out and find them. You're just not definite enough yet. But you're just not definite enough yet. Now, you may be thinking, well, it's easy for you to talk about, right? I have a different situation. There's a lot going on around me. It's really hard for me to maintain this state of mind known as faith. It's hard for me to maintain this positive state of mind. Well, here's where the definite major purpose comes in, right? I'm not gonna bullshit you, right? There's negative things going on out there. There's negative things going on out there. There's probably things going on wrong out there. But you gotta learn to transmute your energy towards your definite major purpose. You gotta start learning to stop focusing on what's going wrong and start focusing on your definite major purpose. Start focusing on your vision. That's the only way for you to start developing this state of mind. Right? Yeah, there could be chaos going on around you, but if you're so clear cut about your definite major purpose, you can't see what's going wrong. You can't. You simply are so focused on your definite major purpose that's going to directly impact your state of mind. Right? One of the things that Tony Robbins even talks about, right? What you focus on dictates your state of mind. Start focusing on the good. Start focusing on what you want. Start becoming obsessed. Start becoming obsessed with what you want. It's going to help you get there that much faster when you start working on this state of mind. And then when it all comes back to applied faith, right? I'm talking about, it's already done. I don't care if nobody else can see what I see. In my mind, it's already done. I got to believe it. I got to start acting like that right now. I got to start talking like that. I got to start walking like that. I got to start dressing like it's already done. Like I'm already a success. Like I already got what I wanted, right? That is going to help you achieve that state of mind known as faith. It's absolutely critical. Okay, so to recap what we talked about today, right? We talked about applied faith. We talked about applied faith. I talked about, we're at the point now, right? I talked about three things so far this week, right? Definiteness of purpose, a forming a right mastermind group, and applied faith, right? You got those three, you're already on your way. You're already halfway there, as a matter of fact. Like the other 14 principles, they're like icing on the cake. Yes, they're essential. They're essential because, it's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Right? A lot of people think they got a definite major purpose. They don't. A lot of people think they have a mastermind. Nope. It's just a cooperation group. They think they have applied faith. No, we're just talking about it. But I'm talking about applied faith is when you're actually doing it. When you have the faith while you're doing the thing. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying applied faith. All right, so I talked about that, and then I talked about, the steps to develop faith, right? The steps, real quick: definiteness of purpose, having a burning desire to achieve that purpose, the right motives, right? Building a success consciousness, and finally making at least one step every single day to get closer to your goals. And then finally, I touched on how state of mind is everything, right? State of mind, the mindset that you hold is everything. Right, start working on your state of mind first. The strategy, it's like I said, the strategies are out there. It's just, it. You're not applying the right strategies in the right way. It comes down to what is your state of mind. All right, so I want to thank you all for watching. Right, applied faith. What a magnificent conversation it was today. And I'll leave you with this. Right, until we meet again in time and space. I'll see you all same time, same channel on Instagram Live, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Right, we're going to be continuing the conversation on Napoleon Hill's Master Course for Success. All right, let's get it. Let's make today amazing. I love you all, and I'll see you all tomorrow.